Hi, everybody. Lee Scott here. Thank you for watching and or listening to this week's episode of Leading with Lee, where we talk about life, leadership, and legacy and want to help you unleash your capacity and level of leadership. I'm so excited that you are here. But before I share today, if you will go and subscribe to Leading with Lee on YouTube and all podcasting platforms. Well, today is the season finale. This episode is the season finale of Leading with Lee. It's been an incredible opportunity to be doing the fifth year of leading, and what a season it has been. As I reflect on this year, it has been we started in one space, and we have truly gone on a journey throughout the year discussing the topic of humility and different things like that. But I want to do a lot of time talking about it here at the outset. Let's take a moment to reflect on some interesting moments and things that I've shared on this season of Lead with Lee. Check this out. As I grow in my career, as I grow in my life, I want to be someone who not because I'm trying to get anything for anybody, I want people to feel as if Lee literally actually cares about me. He actually cares about what I care about. I may not understand it. I may not know what it is. I may not be clear on what to do, but I want to always be interested in people and giving them the space and capacity to share their story with me. I want to give people the space to be able to say to me, hey, Lee, I'm dealing with this, or I feel this, or I'm interested in this, because people are interesting to me. Sometimes, have you ever thought about this? Sometimes people literally want the space to be able to express themselves. Really, they do. They're looking for ways for somebody to give them value in a space so they can share what they are feeling or thinking. And I think sometimes as leaders, we think it's our job to go in and literally give a narrative or literally lecture people. And I could be guilty of that. We think we should lecture people about what they should be doing or whatever, but we've never asked them what they want. The greatest thing you can do for a person is give them the opportunity to share how they feel or what they believe, and also how they are processing the information that's going on in their lives. The things that I will not experience if I don't recognize that I have to be true to myself. It's not my job to operate like you. It's not your job to operate like me. There are many people that have podcasts and vlogs and do these different things that have a lot to say. They operate very different from me. They film probably very different from me. But they have to be true to themselves. They have to be true to me. That's not their job. Their job is to show up and function how they would function. And I think that's important to keep in mind, because as we are having this conversation about the transformation of our society and culture as it relates to how we dignify other people, we got to know that it starts with you first. If you don't see yourself as valuable, if you don't see yourself as someone who can make a significant difference in your spaces, you will always treat people wrong, because you lack the factor of dignifying yourself. Here's a question for you. Are you allowing yourself to be celebrated? Are you putting points on the board? Are you doing things that matter enough so that people are like, wow, you did that. You took that step. You created that business. You built that company. You took that action to make a difference in the lives of folks that are around you. I say it all the time on here. Everybody doesn't have the same gifts and talents and can do the same thing. But what is important is that you keep in mind what is the thing that I can do so that people can see my momentary impact, that people can see that I was prepared for the moment, that I was ready for the moment, that I was actually locked in to do the things that I needed to do. Because it matters in the process of your growth, and it matters in the process of making a difference in your own life and the lives of those you're connected to. It's okay to have a set of beliefs. Having beliefs is actually important to the lifeblood of a society. Your home has a set of beliefs. Your family has a set of beliefs. Your job, your school. And your friendships are built on a set of beliefs. You're not just friends with people just because you're friends with them. There is a set of commonality and beliefs that even though you may not agree on everything, there's something that brings you into alignment that causes you to want to do life with this person. All of these things are part of that process. And so it's important for us to have a clarity of mind when it comes down to our belief system. Why do I believe what I believe? Why do I think the way I think? Why do I operate the way I operate? Like that's the driver for you. You got to know, why is it that I operate the way that I operate? It's not by happenstance. Again, as I said earlier, you're not a blank canvas. There have been things in your life that have influenced you. Going back to the definition, there have been things in your life, whether it be positive, negative, or neutral, that have influenced what you think. Is our preferences based on our options influences how we perceive the world. It influences how we think about people, what we think about people, how we engage people around us. These things are optional. We have seen and read stories through reporting that about people getting in rabbit holes related to information. How they start to get fed information over and over again based on what they're watching or looking at. I notice even with me, like some comedians that I followed on social media or liked on social media, if I start strolling content related to comedy, they start feeding me other comedians who might be kind of in the same space. I start seeing content of other individuals that might be in the same community as this individual. Why? Because the algorithm is trying to cater to what it thinks or perceives that I want. But that's an option. I can search for something else. I can look for another perspective. I can look for something different, but it's up to me. That's an option. My decision to be on a certain social media site is an option. I don't have to be on there. Trust me, I have friends, which is quite shocking, that are around my age who are not really on social media like that, who choose not to engage social media in that regard because they made the option that this is not the way they want to live their lives. That's an option for you. You don't have to do that. You don't have to engage with content. You don't have to engage those things. Yet we are being transformed by what we see on social media. It is influencing how we think. It's influencing how we see people. It is influencing how we're engaging, and we're all victims of it. I'm not saying this as somebody who isn't a victim of it. I'm speaking in a very honest way. I am influenced by what I see on social media. Wasn't that inspiring? I hope that you were impacted by some of the things I had to share. I mean, I really, really took my time and did a lot of research and really thought a lot about the subjects that I wanted to share. And I would truly say to you that this is probably the most fully formed I've been in sharing a Leader with Lee. And as I've been reflecting a bit, I can tell you that's just true. But I've had some great guests to come on Leading this particular year. And so let's take a moment to hear some of these guests that have come on season 5 of Leading with Lee. Check this out.
But I've also learned that if I can't show up as my true self, I need to take a minute before I show up. So sometimes that looks like just sitting in my car for 5 minutes, even if that means I'm late for something.
Wow.
Or going in, and if I have a meeting or a call or something, just taking a minute to compose myself and just breathe and get prepared for it. I think that it takes willpower to do that because we just move so fast in everything that we do. And even with my child, sometimes I say, I just need a minute. I hear you, I see you, but I just need a minute.
Yeah.
And so I call it take 5. So if you need to take 5 to think, process, breathe, compose yourself, whatever you need to do before you enter a space. It's okay to do that. Don't worry about I'd rather be late 5 minutes and come in healthy than come in on time, storming, and not in a good place.
One thing I will say about Mid-City after working there for the last several months is they definitely know what they want and what they don't want.
Oh, yeah.
And you will hear a lot of people say, well, why can't we have that like the other communities?
Mm-hmm.
So they, the reason why I know that we needed to do something for seniors and for middle school and high school students, not just because I have the capability, I can generate a report, but this is what people have told us. So because they have told us this, we have to prioritize that, not what we think should be a priority, which is hard for a lot of urban planners or architects or developers. But to me, it gives my brain a break. I don't have to figure out anything because they have told us what they wanted in their community.
What's coming to my mind, especially as we're talking about this, is that like, that's hard for us as men.
Is it though? Is it though?
I mean, give me your thoughts.
I don't think it's hard. I just think if it is hard, it's ultimately making the decision to do it.
True. Exactly. Yeah.
So it's like, are you mad enough to make a decision? MAD, make a decision.
Yeah. No.
I don't think it's difficult. I just think that if you want it bad enough, like ET said, you got to want it as bad as you want to breathe. Ultimately, I got better when I made the decision to get better. Like, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a challenge. I wouldn't say it's difficult because you've been stuck in certain habits and certain ways for so many years.
Right.
And now you have to unlearn, relearn, and reprogram the program that's not working.
Voting is a team sport. And voting is our birthright. As American citizens, we have a right that a lot of people across this globe don't have. As United States citizens, we have the ability to go and elect the individuals that serve in positions that have a direct influence on what happens in our lives, but not just in our lives, but in the next generation and future generations to come. What we've heard from the former president, who is the Republican candidate, are actions to take away our freedoms, are actions that will set us back over 100 years. We're looking at a pre-Reconstruction period if we don't do the right thing by electing individuals that have our best interest.
Answer for that one. Yeah, and I'll piggyback off that because I think the crisis that we're seeing, a lot of it is because people lack an understanding of their identity, of who they really are.
Yes.
And that a lot of that comes from the lack of ability or desire to really evaluate themselves. People really don't want to take the time to look in the mirror and really figure out, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are the areas where I could be better? Or having people that are in your sphere of influence that can provide accountability, that can provide influence, that can provide just some genuine constructive criticism.
Tell you about yourself.
Right.
That's what he's trying to do.
I'm trying to be professional. But you need like, honestly, identity is such a big thing, and it factors into all the things like character, like accountability.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so if people lack, they are, or don't have the ability to really evaluate where they are, then it does impact not only their ability to produce, but it also impacts the quality of work.
Oh my goodness. Weren't they amazing? They had so much wisdom to share with us about life, leadership, and legacy, and really, really brought some things to light that I think be really impactful. But before I share any more, I'm going to take a break right here, and I'll be right back after this message. Want to promote your business, products, or services? Email me at scottconsultations@gmail.com. I would love to push forward the banner of what you're trying to accomplish, whether it is a product, whether it's your services or your business. I would love to work with you and be an advocate for what you're doing in your respective spaces. Thank you, and I look forward to hearing from you. And we are back. I hope that you've been inspired by the things that I've shared this season of Leading with Lee, and also the individuals that I brought on here. And I just want to spend a little bit of time here at the end just sharing where I am with leading and what's been in my mind as far as Leading with Lee. As I've shared before, I've been doing Leading with Lee for 5 years now, and it's been an interesting ride over the past 5 years. And I'm going into a different phase and stage of my life. And so I'm having this moment where I'm really thinking great deal about what is next for Leading with Lee. You may be asking a question like, Lee, are you saying you're done? No, I'm not necessarily saying that, but I'm also just kind of want you to keep in mind that you may see me a little bit less as things are transpiring and changing in my life. We'll see. Over this coming Christmas and Thanksgiving break, I'll take some great deal of time to think about what Leading with Lee will look like going forward. And I've truly have been inspired and encouraged by all the opportunities I got to share about life leadership and legacy over the past 5 years. From the first Leading with Lee back in 2019 at a library in Tulsa, Oklahoma, to now that I've been doing it this way over the last 4 years, and how much I've evolved and grown. When I started Leading with Lee, I was 25 years old. I got that deal when I was 24, 25 years old, and really stepped out and did it when I turned about 26. And just to see now at 31, after 5 years of doing leading, I can really reflect and see how much my life has changed and how far I've come. And I can truly say, even this year, so much has transpired in this year of leading. My life has radically changed. I took a longer break this season because of just getting married and my life changing and adjusting to this new phase of life. And I can tell you that it has been an honor of my life to spend so much time sharing about what I believe about life leadership and legacy, and how it's impacted me personally, but also how I believe that you have something to contribute to the world. Listen, if you've been on this journey with me all these years, you have seen my life change. You have seen some perspective change, but the underpinning thing that has always been the same is that I believe that every person has a capacity and level of leadership. And I believe that every person has something to give to the world, and we deserve to drink from the cup of your uniqueness and your talent. So I hope that as you go into these holiday season and spending time with your family and friends, that you keep in mind that this is a moment where you can lead, where you can make a big difference in your world around you, but also you can invest back into yourself in ways and really be inspired. And I'm going to do something I generally don't do here on Leading, but I'm going to end with a moment from the first Leading with Lee, and I hope that it will inspire you to go forward and really consider how you can make a difference in the world. Happy holidays, much love, and check out this clip, and I'll hopefully see you next season on Leading with Lee. Do you think I set this room up by myself? No, not at all, because that's a weakness. And it gave me an opportunity to empower somebody else. I like, it's this concept of hiring your weaknesses. Actually giving people opportunity to be themselves. Something in your leadership is you having the capacity to understand, hey, I could help somebody else be great right now. Because it's not about me being, the end all and be all of everything that happens. It's literally about you understanding, wait, I don't have to do everything. What? And the great thing about it is you don't have to exhaust yourself. If you relinquish power, you literally are giving yourself room to think, grow, do other things. This whole event was not just put together by me. I requested the help of Akila. I was like, Akila, you good at putting PowerPoints together? I can do it. I'm all right. But I was like, Akila, could you do this? Could you help me figure out how to do this really well and really effective? And she was like, oh, yeah. You can do this. The registration aspect of it, I had no clue how to do that. Not a clue. But I solicited help. And you know what happened? She rose up. She stepped into the thing and was able to be effective because I was not thrown off by how great she was. Which this statement I want you to write down. The best leaders are those who have resolved the conflict within themselves and are willing to invest in others because they are not intimidated by others' talents. I am not intimidated by how cold you are. Because if the problem with a lot of people, and this may sound disrespectful, but I don't care. The problem with a lot of people is they haven't met themselves.
Come on, that's true. Come on, lead through that.
They haven't met themselves.
That's good.
So what they do is they box you in. They tell you what you can't do, because if you outshine them, it makes them feel bad about themselves. But let me tell you the true power of something that you need to understand in your leadership. If I'm a great leader and I empower somebody else, you know what happens at the end of the day? They don't take credit for it. They give me credit. You know why? Because I gave them a chance. They're saying, oh, you're really good at this. Oh, it's awesome that you built this. It's awesome. You know what? Thank you, man. I'm so grateful that you gave me, homage and said I did a great job. But I got to give it up to my boss. My boss believed that I could do it. My boss gave me a chance. And a lot of us are in environments where we're not getting chances. We're not getting chances. But I love leaders that literally have this point where they're like, oh, you've been awesome. Oh man, that's great. I'm gonna let you have it. I'm gonna let you have it because I know that if you are able to do what you're doing, at the end of the day, you're gonna thank me, but then you're gonna become. Yeah. I care more about you becoming than me taking all the credit. I care more about that. I'm like, oh yeah, they're like, yeah, like they just blossomed and grew and they became vibrant. They became effective because I gave them an opportunity to be themselves. Thank you for watching and or listening to this week's episode of Leading with Lee. If you have not done it yet, subscribe on YouTube and all podcasting platforms. If you want to get more information and connect with me, visit me at www.leeascott.com or follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Lee A. Scott II or Lee A. Scott II. So, thank you for watching. Much love, and let's get started.